Hey guys, it's Cherry here. I don't want to call this a tutorial, but I guess it is, but it isn't, but it is. But I was making some assets for my webcomic, um, and just a little handy dandy tip in case you didn't know or are stubborn like me. Um, Making comics is very time consuming, and if you can reduce the workload in any way possible, you absolutely should. And one thing I didn't want to do repeatedly is draw the floor pattern. And also, doing stuff like this just makes things look more interesting, I feel like. Um, and I was going to talk over the time lapse of this, but the time lapse ended up being like 6 seconds. So I'm just going to click through layers and talk about that instead. Um, so here's sort of what I started out with. This is reduced opacity, but I'll make it bigger. I put a symmetry layer up, symmetry ruler, vertically and horizontally to try to mirror things as much as possible. Um, the second time around, the first time around I did this, everything's kind of wonky, but you get the idea of what it's supposed to look like. And I filled up the whole square, but really to make a repeating pattern, you want to use as little information as possible, just because, shout out to my dog if you heard that. Um, the more information that you include, the more annoying it's going to get to repeat. So I actually used about, if you can see my selector, about this much information to make this repeat vertically and horizontally. Um, and what you do is you go up to your edit menu and register material and image, or you can press a fancy hotkey. I am switching from the mobile version of Clip Studio to the desktop, and I have not adjusted the hotkeys yet, so I'm still clicking everything. But then you want to check this tiling. But you can see here that it's not lining up quite right. So that's because I did not use the rulers for this part, but I did reduce the opacity and then go back in with rulers and ended up with about this much information. Um, I did a little bit more on the side just for the sake of it, but it's still really from the center of these squares in a box to make that tiling pattern. And then I am going to jump over here to my webcomic page. And I am going to show you what it looks like to add this in. So I've got a selection here. And you could do this different ways. This is how I do it. So I'm going to come into my materials and I'm going to find that tiling pattern. It's up to you where and how you save it. And I'm just going to drag that over here. And obviously it's not going to look like perfect right off the bat. Actually, you know what? I just thought of something, but that's okay. Maybe, let's see if it'll let me do it this way. Or if I'm going to have to, yeah, I am going to have to do it the other way. So actually, let me back up what I just said. You can absolutely do it this way. Oh, well, I just deleted the mask. That makes everything a lot easier. See, I don't know what I'm doing. But anyway, I can actually warp this to perspective, and I'm probably not going to get it like exactly right this minute. I just kind of want to show you the point. And if you have perspective lines, this helps a lot more. But you can also warp this around like cylindrical objects. I know I've seen Banana do that before. But in general, this just makes it more interesting to look at. And then just to kind of prove my point, I'm going to go back in here and I'm going to take that same selection, but I'm going to delete everything outside the selection. Just kidding. Not like that. We struggling out here. Sorry. This is why I said it's not a tutorial. Now I'm going to delete everything outside the selection. And, you know, there's still some of this business down here, but hey, blob lady person. It's not a lady. What? Mind your business. Anyway, I'm just erasing things. This is a mess. It's a disaster. You get the point. This is here now, and you can do stuff. You could reduce the opacity, change the color. You could do whatever you want with it. I'm going to actually make this look better than what it is right now, but I just wanted to show you that now instead of trying to keep up with the floor every time, I can just drop this asset that I have already made into the panel. And I've seen people do this with like the eyes of their characters, so they're not rendering the eyes every time. They just draw it and then they drag and drop the eyeballs in. I've seen people do it with like head shapes. I mean, you patterns on clothes. I've seen people do that with all kinds of stuff. So I mean, it's really your own discretion. But yeah, I just wanted to show you guys a little thing that I made and how you can use that. Make comic go faster. Do the thing. This is your sign to do the thing. If you're not doing the thing, why aren't you doing the thing? Do the thing. I'm gonna go now. Bye.